Welcome, sports fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the Sports Nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitudes that are known in Nerd Nation as the Red Pack. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am Scott Wright, and I am the Sports Nerd. To start the show off, it's just going to be me and one of my co-hosts, Mr. Elliot Big E Lamba. We are hanging on, waiting on John and Ken to join us. We'll see if they come in, if they show up. I know John's not having a good day right now, but it is what it is. He threatened not to come because he was out with the kids, and I just said, that's weak sauce. Get in here.
Yeah, okay. Blame it on the kids. Why not?
Blame it on the kids, yeah.
How about
Brett, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy.
It's because of his Buffalo Bills kids.
Anyway, Elliot, how you doing, man? Did you have a good week?
Yeah, man. I put in my first full week of barber school.
And how'd that go?
It went well. I actually got to do a haircut.
Nice.
Yep.
Hopefully not your own because you don't have any hair.
No. They what they do is during the week they bring kids in from a shelter.
Yeah.
They have a thing set up with the shelter. And
nice.
I got to cut one of the kids' hair, and that was just practice for me. And
did the kid like it?
The book thing, yeah. The kid he loved the haircut. He smiled all the way.
Good deal.
Back to his seat with the rest of his, buddies.
Yeah.
And sure, I think I smiled more than he did, though.
Well, especially, I mean, you mentioned they're from the shelter. That's gotta be special to do, man. Because
yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah, they bring them over, and I guess, like I said, they got some kind of an arrangement where they bring kids over like a certain time throughout the day.
Yeah. And
I'm sure there's a financial arrangement somewhere in there, but
correct.
It gives the kids some inspiration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see them; they all come in. They got all this hair, and then when they're done, and when they're smiling and thank you so much,
right?
And I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it.
Good deal.
I got my beard done by one of the barbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, man? That's not something that you have to worry about being physically fit for, because I know you and I both suffer from diabetes, and you're struggling. You don't have to worry about overextending yourself as far as physicality is concerned. It's just it's not that bad.
I think the biggest challenge is being on my feet all day, which I haven't been used to doing for a very, very long time.
Right.
And considering my MS, a lot of that has to do with muscular and skeletal stuff, neurological system. My hands, they still get a little painful from time to time, but I'm just convinced that through time, and like I said, this week, I don't really feel. The only time I feel real pain is when I get up in the morning, but I think that's because,
you and me both, buddy.
You know what I'm saying? That's because you're laying out all night after moving around.
Your body takes a little bit to get used to getting up and moving around. It has to.
I do sleep a lot more now.
All right, well, let's get into it. I'm going to start with my rant of the day. The Cleveland Browns defense is horrendous. It sucks.
The Cleveland Browns are horrendous.
Well, you know what? Now we have a top 10 offense. Don't get me. Don't go there. We do have a top 10 offense, even with Jacoby Brissett. But our issues are on the defensive tackle. They are getting blown up. They are getting blown up in the run game. You know what? Tyreek Hill and Jason Waddle did not burn the Browns today. It was the Miami Dolphins running game. Jalen Waddle. Yeah, Jalen Waddle. It was the Miami running game that pounded us, and we just couldn't stop the run.
Jeff Wilson and Mostert Former 49ers, by the way,
Yes.
they went to town on your
Yes.
defense.
Yes.
I mean,
I mean,
Wilson.
Browns fans are calling for the head of Joe Woods, who's the defensive coordinator. But if you don't have any talent, it's not really the coordinator's fault. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, yes and no, because you have to take talent and you got to develop it. You know what I'm saying? Um, maybe the defense just ain't buying into his philosophy. You know what I'm saying? That's usually when it's time for a coach to go when the team is not buying into what you're selling.
Yeah. I mean, and we couldn't get the run game going. Nick Chubb only had 63 yards today, but Brissett ran for 40, and Kareem Hunt had 9 yards.
Well, because Miami doesn't have a shabby defense either.
No, they don't. They don't. So I mean, the final was 39-17. It wasn't that close.
No, I did. You know, every time I looked up, Jacoby Brissett was on the ground.
Yep.
Amari Cooper didn't get nothing today.
Right. Cooper had 3 catches for 32 yards.
Yeah.
DPJ was the highest receiver with 5 receptions.
Yeah.
Over 99 yards. Harrison Bryant, who was replaying for the injured Njoku, did have a touchdown, the tight end.
Look, when you're depending on Donovan Peoples-Jones to be your number one receiver.
Well, but you know what? He's actually number 2. He is our number 2 receiver, and you know what? Brett's right. Tua is just off the chain. Tua is playing out of his mind.
His accuracy is amazing. And I know that a lot of people were criticizing, how are you going to get the ball to Tariq? He can't throw that far. He don't need to throw that far.
Yeah.
I kept saying that all along. All you got to do is get Tyreek in open space and let him do the rest.
Right.
But even with a little bit of distance, he seems to be very accurate because even that first touchdown he threw to Sherfield, that was a tremendous, tremendous pass.
Well, Sherfield he made a great catch too.
He couldn't have gone in there and handed him the ball any better than that.
Right.
And sometimes when you have the ability to do that, accuracy is going to overcome a lot of things. Okay, if you're accurate, you're going to be good.
I agree. And you know what? The Dolphins, I mean, I didn't go into today's game with any expectations. I knew the Browns were going to lose this game because Miami's just too good. And the AFC East now is a 3-man race with the Patriots. Not the Patriots, I'm sorry. With the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
I don't count the Patriots out too much because they're hanging in what's a tough division.
Yeah.
Okay. But who's first now? The Jets, I think?
Oh, let me take a look. Hang on.
Because I know
the Dolphins are first. Dolphins, Bills, and then the Jets. That's according to NFL.com.
How many losses do the Jets have? 3?
They're tied with the Bills with 6-3.
Okay, so Miami's up half a game at 7-3.
Yeah, I don't know why the Jets aren't ranked above the Bills because they
beat them.
They got a better division record too. So I mean, I don't know why they're not. I mean, maybe they're doing it alphabetically. I don't know, but still.
Yeah, maybe it's
the Jets are 2-1.
Buffalo Rider or something. That's doing
the Jets are 2-1 in the division, where the Bills are 0-2. Okay, so I mean, the Jets are probably ranked a little bit higher. They're probably third, and Bills are probably third place in the division.
Have the Jets played Miami yet? I can't recall. I
don't remember. But that'll be a good game too.
Well, yeah. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Yep.
Although I still think the Jets' biggest hangnail in the end is going to be Zach Wilson.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Zach Wilson hasn't really. I mean,
look, he's the third best quarterback in that division.
Third best quarterback in the division behind. You mean Mac? You don't like Mac Jones? Think he's better than Mac Jones?
Yeah, I think he's better than Mac Jones.
Okay. Yeah, Brett. It's basically that's what I'm saying too. I mean, as far as how NFL.com has them seated, I see the Jets.
Yeah, that's NFL.com, dude. Don't trust them. They're sometimes they act like Fox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. Let me see what else I want to go into here.
I think I saw somewhere else where they said the Bills were third in the division. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, I think it was John that said it on one of his posts.
I think John said it on one of his in his Facebook post or on his Twitter feed. Yeah.
Yeah, we're third.
Yeah.
Right after he said, "I hate football."
Yeah. Well, he did say that it was the most Buffalo Bills loss, and the typical Buffalo Bills loss. So, there is that as well. But the Bills. I mean, if John makes it into the show, I'm sure he'll go over it.
I'm sure he'll have plenty to say about it.
I mean, there were mistakes. I mean, the interception at the end to lose the game, and the fumble in the end zone when they stuffed him on fourth down. After that, the first play was a fumble in the end zone, and they gave up the touchdown because there was a bad snap exchange between the center and Josh Allen.
Yeah,
I mean, all they had to do was get that snap and move forward, half a yard, 2 yards to get in space.
He never even got the ball.
No,
the ball just went straight to the ground.
Yeah, yeah. First NFL game ever in Munich, Germany. This morning.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good game.
It was a good game.
Tampa almost blew it.
I mean, it had a Super Bowl feel because of the atmosphere, not because of the game itself, but because of the atmosphere.
And I think Roger Goodell announced that they'll be having games in Germany for the next 4 years.
Yes.
At minimum.
Through at least 2025.
Which is cool.
Well,
these international games definitely add a different flavor.
Yes, well, the Germans love American football, and that goes back to the Frankfurt Galaxy, who was back in the day when they had the international.
Did Kurt Warner play for one of those German football teams?
Kurt Warner, yeah, I think he did, yeah.
Because I seen them show a picture of him. I guess they call him Admiral.
Admiral Warner.
Admiral Warner or whatever. Admiral Kurt. That's what they call him.
Admiral Kurt. Oh God. Talk about stroking an ego.
Well, it was the four guys from NFL Network that were doing the broadcast today.
Yeah, and they're terrible. They need to stay at LA.
Well, that's because they're not commentators or color commentators. They're play-by-play. They're studio guys.
Well, they need to stay in the studio. I'm just saying.
That's like sending Harrison and Dungy out to do the game on NBC.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No. But it was a good game. I mean, it was nice to finally see that Brady might finally be over his divorce hangover.
He played well. He really did. And
except for when he fell when he was trying to make this.
I didn't actually see that. I was afraid.
They call him for tripping on the same.
I was afraid to bring up the video of him trying to receive a pass. It didn't go well for him in the Super Bowl, and it sure as hell didn't go well for him today either. So.
No. I mean, he should stick to throwing. His legs just don't seem to work when he's, trying to get open or do open field stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But, hey, they got out to a big lead it got a little shaky there.
There you go about Kurt Warner.
The Amsterdam Admirals.
Yes, that's why he's called Admiral Kurt. Yes.
Kurt.
Yes. So, thank you for that, Brett. But no, the Bucs win. They beat Seattle, which Seattle's a good team, so that was a good win for the Bucs.
That was a good win for me.
Why?
Because 49ers
the Niners out, right?
They win tonight.
Yeah,
they'll be in first place because they got the tiebreaker over Seattle.
And I don't see why the Niners wouldn't win tonight. They're playing in Santa Clara, so they should probably win at home.
Yeah, and Justin Herbert has no more than 13 points, fantasy points over the last 4 weeks or whatever, and he doesn't have Keenan Allen. He doesn't have Mike Williams. All they really have
they're decimated with injury.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
left the game with a hip injury and didn't come back.
hip pointer. You know what? That's okay because he's actually the second best running back on that team.
Yeah, Rashad White.
Rashawn White's the real
Yeah.
deal. Rashawn White
He is.
he had a good game.
Even that Keyshawn Vaughn ain't too bad either.
No, he's not.
You know, but I think who was it? Adam Schefter, I think, had said way back when he says you want to stash Rashad White on your roster because
Yes.
somewhere down the road he's going to become the number one back
Yep.
in Tampa. Later this year, he will be that number one guy, and this might be that time because he ran well. 22 carries for 105 yards?
Yep.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And even before the hit pointer, he started the game.
Yeah, he did. He did. No, yeah. Fournette didn't start. Rashad White did.
Fournette didn't come in for a little bit.
Right.
So maybe Fournette was already having a problem for all we know. But all I know is that Rashad White made a name for himself today. And he's the future.
Yeah.
He is the future.
Is NFL.com not giving us his stats? Because they're showing Leonard Fournette with 14 carries, 57 yards as the leading rusher today. But White isn't even on the rushing stats. It doesn't make any sense.
No, well, he was 22 for 105. I know that. 22 carries for 105. Where the hell they got Fournette?
Yeah, let me take a look at that real quick. Let me go to ESPN. There we go. Rashad White, 22 carries, 105 yards. Average 4.8 carries, 4.8 yards a carry, yes.
Which is very, very good.
It's very good, yes. I mean, when I watched that game, what I saw from Fournette, he looked slow.
Yeah, Fournette is starting to slow up.
Yeah.
He's not that slow. Yeah, and don't forget that he was overweight in the offseason.
Yes.
He had to lose a shitload of weight just to get back in playing shape.
Correct.
And eventually that turns around and catches up with you.
Yeah.
Because if you have to, it's kind of like when you're playing from a deficit and you have to work so hard to catch up in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you catch up, you have a letdown.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with your physical too.
Yeah.
If you got to work so hard to get to a weight, that could turn out to work against you.
How about Julio Jones and that touchdown catch he had today?
Yeah, he was brave going in there on that Jones guy.
Yeah.
Shoulder first.
Yeah. I mean, he looked like the old Julio in that one there.
Okay, but did you not feel that these guys, the veterans, Brady, Julio, they were putting a little bit more emphasis on their game? Why? Because this is the first and only time they probably get to play in Germany.
Right.
This was a historic game for them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. It's first NFL regular season game in Germany ever. Yeah. Yes.
And the legends were stepping up. So I like it. Next game is in Mexico, right?
Yes, it's the Colts and the Niners, I think, actually, isn't it? I mean, not the Colts, but the Cardinals and the Niners, right?
Yeah, I think so. On the Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which ain't gonna be much competition because the Cardinals ain't that good.
No, they're not. Even though right now they're winning their game, but
they're winning against a guy named John Wolford.
Yeah.
And you see Cooper Kupp is gone, right?
Yes, Cooper Kupp had an ankle injury.
Dude, that tackle, that thing that hit that guy put on his leg was wrong, dude.
You think it was a bad hit?
I thought so.
Actually, the Cardinals beat the Rams 27-17. It's final. Packers and Dallas are in overtime, and there's about 6 minutes left.
6:25 to go, 3rd and 4 Dallas. And right now, Green Bay is just trying to stop them for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, Brett brings up that catch that Gabe Davis made late in the game. I knew it was I knew it wasn't a catch shortly after it was seen. But
the smart thing was that Buffalo got to the line and got the snap off before.
Exactly. The whole thing was that Buffalo got to the line quick enough to where they
didn't give them a chance to review.
Hey, Jamal.
Hey, Jamal, what's up? They didn't give them a chance to review the damn thing.
Correct. Yeah, that game was lit. Thanks, Jamal. It was. It was the best game of the day, probably one of the best games of the season, even though John's not happy about it. But, it is what it is. I'm not happy either because the Browns just got decimated by a much better team. It just tells me how much they suck on defense.
Ooh, the Cowboys went for it on 4th down and didn't make it.
Oops.
Oops. Now Green Bay just needs a field goal to win.
Yep. Let's see what else. Detroit beat Chicago in Chicago. It's a good win for the Lions.
Yeah.
Fields still ran for 100. He ran for 147 yards again today. It's going to come to the point where Chicago can't depend on him running the ball to carry them anymore. It can only last for so long, don't you think?
Well, yeah, because here's the thing: is if you can contain him, a lot of times he gets erratic. Like that one pass that he threw, they got returned for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I just look. When you got a guy that doesn't throw the ball a lot, and
he only threw it 20 times today.
Yeah. Well, Chicago has the lowest pass attempts in the NFL.
Yeah. He got sacked 3 times.
Mm-hmm. That Aiden Hutchinson is a beast.
Oh, the rookie rookie out of Michigan. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
It's insane. You see that one play where he flew around the line?
Yes.
Grabbed the
Yes, he was just sailing down the line to grab.
oh my
grabbed
God.
him by his shoulder pads and did a WWE type slam on him.
He did it. Yeah. He practically did a suplex on him.
He had 8 tackles and a sack today.
Yeah. Look, when your quarterback, hey Mike, when your quarterback is relied upon to do everything, run,
makes you one-dimensional.
Pass, it makes you one-dimensional. Eventually, the quarterback's going to make mistakes.
He says he might make it in, Mike,
is,
but for right now, yeah, he's an ostrich.
He's an ostrich.
Yeah,
exactly. Uh-oh. Goodbye. Oh. Green Bay's in field goal range.
Oh, boy.
Lazard just took it down to the 18.
Lazard, nice.
Well, he's like, I can't let this rookie get all the time.
Right. Right.
This, in my book, would probably be a very huge upset.
Well, yeah. Dallas is favored going in. So,
he doesn't have a lot of choices. You're right.
He doesn't have a lot of choices as far as receivers are concerned. You're
correct. Don't forget Claypool.
They got Claypool from Pittsburgh. He only had 1 catch today. He was targeted twice, so he didn't really get. Cole Kmet was the number 1 target for Justin today.
He's still learning the offense too.
Yeah, Claypool still. Cole Kmet. Granted, he had 2 touchdowns today. He did 2 touchdown receptions today. So
one was a broken play because the defenders, I think, ran into each other or something.
No.
Again, look, with all of that, with how well Fields is doing, what are they? 2-7?
The Bears are 3-7.
3-7. They got a bye coming up soon, I guess.
Yes.
They're not going nowhere.
How about Amon-Ra St. Brown? 10 receptions, 119 yards today. That guy's a pretty good. For the Lions.
He is. You know what? He established that the last 8 games of the season last year.
Yeah.
Okay. He is a worthy number 1 receiver.
Yes.
He's a talent. Okay. He's the guy there right now, I think, in Detroit. I still don't understand why Detroit got rid of Hawkinson, but he seems to be playing well.
Yeah, that was a weird trade to me.
That
Detroit
was
giving him up.
very strange.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that at all.
Speak of the devil, Mr. John G. Olson is in the house. He's not having a good day, Elliot.
Well, hang on. Dallas fans are about to have a bad day, too.
You know,
Mason Crosby for the field goal in overtime.
Green Bay wins
on,
at
you better
31-28.
Dallas loses. Cowboys lose.
John, just to let you know, Mike Dell is in the house, and he's accusing you of being an ostrich.
No, dude, I was with my kid, man.
Yeah.
I was with my kid. I couldn't, I was trying to get back as soon as I could. So.
Yeah.
Well, Mason cleared the crossbar, bro.
Yeah, so Green Bay beats Dallas. I mean, that means, 3 out of the 4 panelists today have had a bad day so far.
And Mike McCarthy, boo-hoo to you.
Right.
You came home to lose.
You see him in pregame? He walked into that building dressed as Vince Lombardi with the yellow trench coat. All right. Well, we haven't really covered it that much, John. We've touched on it.
Why? You should have. So put me out of my misery.
We were hoping you would show up so you could give your rant and give your feelings and your thoughts on the Vikings win over the Buffalo Bills due to a fumble in the end zone by Josh Allen and a game-losing
amongst other things.
And a game-losing interception in overtime by Josh Allen. They were driving the ball too, man. I thought they were going to score. I really did. I thought they were going to score.
You know what? When just before it happened, worst case scenario, we end in a tie. Sucks, but yeah.
Do you think they would have gone for a tie? I think they would have just gone for the win.
They would have went, but I'm thinking worst case scenario, that
wasn't the worst case scenario.
No, what were your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Justin Jefferson there, John?
Oh, it's amazing. He's amazing.
I still don't see how he got that freaking ball.
Well, I mean,
with one hand.
all Cam Lewis had to do, 4th and 22, knock the ball down. The Bills DBs think of the Hail Murray. They've had a record of trying to get the interceptions instead of just batting the ball away.
Right.
It's a plague. And it shouldn't have even got to that point because it was 3rd and long the entire game.
For Minnesota?
And Minnesota just converted every 3rd and long.
Yeah.
Every 3rd and long. It was pathetic.
That's the way I felt a couple of weeks ago when Kansas City was converting every 3rd and long against San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They just couldn't stop them on 3rd and long. But I think the one problem with that defender too is that he went up with 2 hands and then he tried to out-wrestle him with the one hand. He pulled the other one away instead of just taking both hands and either grabbing the ball or slapping it away.
They were up, and there was a funny stat, and I saw it just before halftime. And when it went there, I was like, this is bad juju. Dude, it's the first time since 1968 that the Buffalo Bills have been up 14 points or more at home and lost. First time since 68, bro. But it's the Bills. I'm so used to things like this, epic collapses. They were up 3 scores going into the second half.
27 scores
at home with your superior defense.
And it was snowing.
What are your thoughts? Though, on the statistic that they pointed out after the game where Josh Allen has thrown 4 red zone interceptions the last 2 games.
Yeah, it's awful.
And he only threw 2 his first 67 games.
This is the thing, man.
What's that due to?
Well, Josh is he's responsible for that loss, and he'll own it. He'll, it's a team game, but he did.
He owned it in the press conference.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of guy he is. But see, this is what you have to take when you look how he marched them down the field. He single-handedly
did it on his legs, John.
Legs. Oh yeah. Well, he was doing it through.
He's running people over. And
he's running people over, and he's throwing the digs. And yeah, the Gabe Davis shouldn't have been in a reception.
That was not a reception, but you know what? They got away with it because they got to the line in time, and that's
right.
part of that. That's the rules.
They wouldn't have been in that position if Josh didn't play like Josh.
Correct.
But Josh needs to. It could have been a check down to Singletary.
He had a runner across the middle on that play.
To the right. That was Singletary. Yeah. But that's what you get with Josh. You have to take the good and the bad. He's Brett Favre, man.
And I don't know if you noticed, but they were doing really well with Singletary in the first half.
Yeah, and then they go away from it.
He was like non-existent in the second half.
The past 3 games, second half, they dodged the bullet with Green Bay, but they did the same stuff with New York last week, and they did it with the Vikings this week.
They go out and get Naheem Hines, and then they start playing Duke Johnson.
Well, Duke ran back kickoffs today. He did a good job of that.
But still, he became a part of the running game in that second half when Singletary should have been out there.
It's this. The Bills notoriously running back by committee and not by 2, by 3 or 4. They've done this for years.
That's just it. And Singletary was so hot today, and I'm going to complain about it because he's on my fantasy team, and he should have scored more points. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He had 2 touchdowns.
15 points in the half, and he barely finished with a little over 15 points. Yeah. But stick with what's working. They were running the ball great against Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
But I seem to think, and like you said, you got to take the wins with the losses when it comes to Josh Allen. But I think sometimes he presses a little too hard.
He's looking for the big play.
I think he tried to shoulder everything on his own
all the time.
Come up with a big.
He saw a small window on that last play and thought he could thread it through there, but it didn't work out. Where instead, had he checked down to his guy coming over the middle, they would have picked up a first down. And at least the drive would have continued. So
he went all money ball and came up short.
Yeah,
you know. And I think that's on the coaching staff too, because I truly believe that because they have not established the run and created a primary back in that offense, Josh automatically thinks that he has to do it all. So if he doesn't see it, he's running. If he doesn't see first, second reads, he's trying to do sugar high Josh. And I don't know if that's in between the ears or if it's just scheme, but it's Bills, man. I'm totally used. It's an epic collapse. It's the most. It's up there with one of the worst losses I've ever experienced as a Bills fan. It's pretty bad.
And the thing is, man, is that Singletary is on the precipice of being that guy in the running game.
But they won't let him do it.
He had all kinds of confidence in that first half.
My question is this. Is the head coach counting too much and putting too much pressure and counting on Josh's ability more than he is on the other players around him? That's my question.
They have the playmakers. They have Stephon Diggs. You know, they have, like I say, as the offense goes through Dawson Knox, so does this team.
Yeah.
They don't use him at all anymore.
Nope.
He had 4 catches today for 57 yards.
That's nothing.
No. For Dawson Knox, it's nothing.
Because here's the thing. Once you contain Diggs a little bit, where are you going to go from there?
You got to go to Davis. But Davis, he had a decent game today. But
he's been so up and down.
Yeah, he's a crapshoot.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you're basically excluding the other guys, you know, and living perilously by devoting the game to just 2 guys.
They need
Allen and Diggs.
They need OBJ. They needed Christian
McCaffrey. There are rumors saying that OBJ might be going to Buffalo.
Yeah, they need and they need to stop this lollygagging. We have enough players on our roster. It's pretty obvious that you didn't have anyone to cover Justin Jefferson. So what did you do? You went and signed Xavier Rhodes. You put him in the practice squad. You elevated him today, and you didn't even play him. I mean, Xavier Rhodes would have had a much better time against Justin Jefferson. Like, even if he hasn't played for a couple years. I mean, he's still Xavier Rhodes. So, I don't know. Whatever. What do I know? I'm just a dumb Canadian.
You got to put your veteran. You got to put guys that have the experience in there. You know what I'm saying?
Brett, Von Miller is pushing for OBJ. You're right. He is. He
pushed for OBJ in L.A. too.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, from what I understand, OBJ is looking between what Allen does and what Mahomes does.
Yeah, well, he's gonna take 2 weeks to. I mean, he's been cleared to play. He was cleared yesterday or today or something like that, and he says he's going to take 2 weeks to get into football shape and then sign with somebody end of the month. So he's going to be available to someone who wants to make that playoff push. As much as I had ups and downs with him in Cleveland, OBJ makes Buffalo a twice better team than
OBJ's problem in Cleveland was Baker Mayfield.
Yes. Okay. Agreed.
Plain and simple.
Yes.
Dude, we were first place in the AFC at the beginning of the
Now you're third.
Third? We're 6th in the conference now.
Right. Yeah.
We were first in the conference, third in the division now.
Yes.
And the weak schedule that the Patriots got, that the Jets got, that the Dolphins get, they're just going to keep winning.
Yes.
And if Buffalo doesn't win these games,
they got the Browns next week, don't they?
Yeah, great. Like that's another
no, it's in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo. Oh. That's another trap game. I hate life.
So the question comes back that Scott made earlier. Are the Vikings for real?
Yeah.
Even if the Vikings would have lost today, they're for real. They showed themselves today.
Yeah, their defense is a little sus, but
I stand by what I said. I think they're legit. I'm still not sold that they're for real. Because they shouldn't have won that game. There's no way they should have won that game.
They shouldn't have even been in it.
We
were up 24-10.
That game. Yeah, no, they
the
shouldn't.
Bills just epically collapsed again and didn't cover Jefferson at all. Like double team him for the love. Make Adam Thielen. If Adam Thielen beats us, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But like you know that Kirk keeps going to double team him. Double team him. Like it's simple. This is like Dalvin Cook had that that was the turning point. When Dalvin Cook ran that 81-yard touchdown, I was man, here we go. Like that was as soon as he did that, I'm sitting there looking at the clock. I'm like, it's 2 scores.
Was it 81? I thought it was 66.
No, 81.
81-yard touchdown. I just whatever, man. I'm just I kind of like it now because now we're not going to be favored and everyone's going to say we're frauds and we're not this, and I like that. I like having
the underdog.
I like it. I don't want. I'm sick of the being all the hype. Like it's you got to live up to expectations, and it's like
now everyone's going to say what's wrong with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, it's the whole narrative this week, and Nick Wright is going to have a blast. Like who's your MVP now? Like just going to be trolling, like whatever.
Yeah, well, Buffalo Bills podcast should be off the chain this week, John.
I'm not listening to a single Dude, I don't want to hear. I'm just like, I like it better when I didn't care. Like, just, this hype. I've bought into the hype over the past 3 seasons. Like, dude, just go win games. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you leap over people. I don't care if you throw for 500 yards or 50 yards. Just win the game, man. Like, just win it. And they could have won that game more. And that botch snap, oh my gosh. Like, they're sitting there, and no one saw this, but Bill's Twitter put out ball game when they did the
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, they put ball game down. And I was like, wait a minute, there's 47 seconds, and you're on the not even the 1 yard line. You have to get it out of the end zone. You can't take a knee. You take a knee, you get a safety, but then you got to kick the ball back with 40 seconds.
To be honest, John, they should have taken the safety.
Did you see
But seriously, with all due respect, Scott, that's a hindsight call.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. Okay. I mean, they should have taken the safety.
It's a moot point if they execute the most basic play in football.
Quarterback
exchange between the center and the quarterback.
And a quarterback sack. Yeah, quarterback
the
sneak.
most basic play in football.
Yes.
And they messed that up.
They went the right way.
There's so many parts of that game where I was just like, that's going to come back to bite us. That's going to come back to bite us. That's going to come back to bite us. And it started with all those third down conversions, man.
Yeah.
They made Kirk Cousins look like Kirk Thuggins and just was bombing stuff. Justin Jefferson making Kirk Cousins look like the second coming of like
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, man. Like, listen, Justin Jefferson is legit. Okay, the dude is like he's the best wide receiver in the game right now.
Yeah,
but like Diggs was no slouch this game either. Did you see that catch Diggs did?
Yeah, I saw that catch. Yes,
that was sticky fingers, man. That was amazing. But it's like when you have this alpha wide receiver and you're not double teaming him, when you see him, it's not every play, but when it's third and long, guess where the guy's going to throw it to?
Or 4th and 18.
Or 4th and 22.
Yeah.
Where's it going to go to?
You don't let the best guys beat you. That's basically the
you know what's crazy? The stats, he had 89 yards or something and one touchdown in the first half. And then into the third, he was down to 10 yards in the second half. It wasn't until the last 5 minutes of that fourth quarter that he went off. So they were figuring it out. And then for whatever reason, again, the epic coaching that is Leslie Frazier decides to just let's do prevent defense again. It's just
my father had a saying about prevent defense. The only thing prevent defense does is prevent you from winning.
Mm-hmm.
My father said that 30 years ago. So I mean,
it prevents you from playing defense.
That too, yes. I mean, he gets it. He got that from the Marty Schottenheimer plan of Browns football. The only thing prevent defense does is prevent you from winning.
I'm so sick to my stomach. Like another level of sickness.
I
got to walk.
You should take that defense and throw it away and never ever freaking use
it. You know who the originators of the prevent defense were, right?
Billy Bob Thornton. I don't know.
The New York Giants.
Really?
Back in the days when they had Joe Pisarcik and those guys,
God.
And they could only score an average. They could
Miracle in the Meadowlands,
17 points a game. Okay.
Miracle in the Meadowlands.
Anytime they got to 17 points, that's when they threw out that prevent defense, and it prevented them from winning.
It needs to be outlawed.
There's a lot that needs to be outlawed in the NFL.
People will argue that it wasn't the prevent defense that made the Giants a bad team. It was the prevent offense that they ran.
Well, yeah. Well, when Joe Pisarcik is your quarterback, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it right there. John has no idea who Joe Pisarcik is.
I don't know. You guys are talking like, people born in the 20s and stuff.
Well.
I'm just and this is why didn't we play Trey White? Why? Why didn't we play? Someone explain this to me. You're going against the best wide receiver in the world. Why don't you get your best corner to play? He's been cleared to play. He's been practicing. He's off of the IR. Why? What are you waiting for? Oh, well, this wasn't a division game. We got to save our stuff for the playoffs. Get to the playoffs first, jackholes. Why don't you do that first instead of worrying about what you're going to do in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, because now you're 6-3, you're third in the division, 6 in the conference, and you're hanging on to a playoff spot by a thread at this point.
And you're down a tiebreaker on both
Miami and New England, Miami and the Jets.
New Jersey.
Yeah, you're down on the tiebreaker with both those.
Wait till we lose against the Patriots. Then the roof's really gonna fall off this train, man. This is just, bro. It's the hype. They bought the hype. They had great start to the season, and they bought into themselves. And since that, they've been just on. It just seems to be on cruise control. It's just like this. Oh, well, you know what? We'll lose.
Yeah, they've lost 2 in a row now. They've lost 2 in a row.
They've lost 2 in a row. But
it seems like their peak. So far this season, the peak was beating Kansas City. Because after that,
they destroyed the Titans. They destroyed
the wheels
the
have been
Rams.
wobbling. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but the Titans are the Titans. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, they beat the Chiefs, and that was kind of like the highlight of the season so far.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
And I
so
think
this is
once they did that, they rested on their laurels.
the only
I
the only thing is that I hope this is like mid-season wah, and they figure it out. But and they've got like a cupcake schedule. No offense, Cleveland. Over the next couple of like months here, so they need to like win out.
And run
And
they have a chance to right the ship is basically what you're saying.
they do, but it's they got to stop. They got to get OBJ, man. Like, oh, this.
Yeah,
That doesn't matter, Brett. That doesn't. Every NFL team has a chance every week.
Any given Sunday, Brett.
Any given Sunday, dude. I mean, we
Any
lost to
given
the
Sunday is
Jets. We lost to them.
I mean, last week the Browns destroyed the defending AFC champions on Monday Night Football. So, I mean, any given Sunday, you know what I'm saying? So,
or Monday in that case.
let me bring in the Colts, guys. Jeff Saturday
Why?
gets hired midweek.
Why? Who cares?
Jim Irsay brings in Jeff Saturday as the interim head coach for the Indianapolis Colts.
Uh-huh. And who did he beat? Josh McDaniel?
He beat
I
Josh
don't see
McDaniel.
that as any major accomplishment.
I guess that's the savings grace is that we're not Raiders. You know, I mean,
Right,
that dumpster fire. You know,
Yeah, there are no Raiders fans on this show.
yeah.
And you know, so but what did you guys think of that when you saw it happen? That Irsay hired Jeff Saturday?
I don't care. I
thought it was a
don't
gimmick.
care. Like,
I thought it was a gimmick move.
I know you don't care, John, because it's not the Bills, so it's it is what it
I
is.
thought it was a gimmick move, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was gimmicky. I thought it was a way to rile up the Indianapolis fan base. Because Jeff Saturday was a former player. Look, the guy never coached in college, never coached in the pros. First time in history that a guy
He's been
gets
a studio analyst for the last 6 or 7 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's like bringing Jeff Orlowski in to a team and making him the head coach.
Yeah.
I
But
hate it all.
he could probably go the same way as this other jackhole that resides in the Bronx, New York, that manages the Yankees, living off one moment in time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You do it. To me, it was a name thing.
Oh, it was totally.
Okay.
It's the
They could have
beloved
went
Jeff
out and got.
Saturday.
They could have went out and got Marvin Harrison or
Edgerrin
anybody else.
James, man. Let's
Bring
put
in
him.
Peyton Manning. Bring in Peyton. Let's bring Peyton back.
We could have run an Andrew Luck at this point. It was just for gimmicky purposes. Okay. Jeff Saturday won a game today against a team that is very, very below standard, including their head coach, Josh McDaniel. Okay. That guy is a joke.
Yeah, Josh McDaniel should be
He should be banned from the NFL.
He should never be able to be a head coach in the NFL.
No, exactly. And it just goes to show he couldn't even beat a guy that has never. He couldn't be a guy coming out of a TV studio. Okay.
Yep.
And guess who was guarding Devontae Adams on the last play of the game?
It was Stephon Gilmore.
A veteran going up against their best receiver.
Imagine that.
Imagine how that works.
Well,
and you know the veterans
Bills
get
had
a little
no
bit of
one
benefit
on
of the doubt because
like,
they probably
all of
could
our
have
guys
gone.
are hurt.
He never turned around. He probably could have got. If that was a rookie or a youngster, they might have called interference on that play against Devontae Adams. They might have.
You might have, yeah.
This is Stephon Gilmore, though. And he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. And that's what happens when you play your veterans. You know what I'm saying?
There was a Jonathan Taylor sighting, however, today. He had 147 yards rushing.
So Matt Ryan ran for 39 yards.
Ryan had a 38-yard run today. Yes, absolutely.
That tells you that the Raiders' defense is garbage.
Yes.
It's trash.
Yes.
It's all garbage and it's bad for you, folks. I'm like, just head is hurting. It's like 24-10 at home.
It was actually. Was it 27-10 at one point in time, or was it or not?
27-10. 27-10. Excuse me. You're right. Three scores. Three-score lead.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, man.
Kirk freaking Cousins. You like that?
I had it all planned up too, man. I was gonna get the memes going. I was gonna go on social media. You like that? I was gonna, backfired miserably.
Devontae Adams is the only relevant Raider. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he put up some points today, right? Like
he did. He put up points. He put up points last week. He dropped. He laid an egg the week before, but that was because he was sick the whole week prior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look, just because he's relegated to obscurity right now, playing for the Las Vegas Raiders, doesn't mean that Devontae Adams isn't ranked up there with some of the best.
Oh, he is, most definitely. You know what? Because, and I tell you what, he needs a top-tier quarterback under center.
And a head coach. To show to be able to be successful. Derek Carr is not a top-tier quarterback, not by any means. And Sean McDaniels, Josh McDaniel, whatever the freaking guy's name is, he's a joke. He was a joke as a head coach in Denver. He's a joke as a head coach. He's the one that brought in Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
That ought to tell you.
And they got and Tim Tebow has one game to his credit that was great, and that was against Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
You know how ironic it was today that McDaniel lost to Saturday of the Colts, and it was McDaniels that took the Colts job before Frank Reich.
Yeah.
And then at the last minute,
backed out,
and went back to New England.
I hope he gets fired to the sun, man, personally. Him and Nate Hackett.
Josh McDaniels can't win unless he's working for Bill Belichick. That's how
he's working for Bill Belichick as an offensive coordinator. That's it. But he's not head coach.
No.
He doesn't know how
You think he gets fired, or are they going to ride with him?
Well, come on. You know what? Before this season started, they were considered to be one of the tough teams in that.
Why did they get rid of that dude that came in last season? He had firing. Yeah, remember that guy they brought up? I forget his name.
Not enough name
recognition.
Cachet.
Dude, he had that team balling last year, man.
Why? Because the players bought into him.
Yeah, that was after the Henry Ruggs stuff too. Remember,
yeah, even after all that, even after the Gruden stuff and
the Henry Ruggs, it was like,
he made that team pop.
And then they go and get
and
Josh
McDaniels. And that's why
when
they went out and got Adams, and when they went and made some moves, they were considered to be. And in hindsight, now that whole division is fucking garbage, except for Kansas City. Okay.
Yep.
They were considered to be one of the 4 teams in that division that was going to make a run.
Yeah.
And now it's like Denver can't score. Russell Wilson is awful. Derek Carr is
Denver lost today too, didn't they?
And all of a sudden, Justin Herbert's become pretty transient himself.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's become pretty pedestrian.
Mediocre.
Yep.
He's making a lot of mistakes lately too. He's throwing picks, and he's I'm with you.
So,
the 4 of us, actually counting Ken, we all thought that the AFC West was going to be loaded and the best division in football.
Gangbusters.
Yeah. What's the best division in football right now?
Just don't mention it. Just don't even mention it. We can never, ever have good things as Bills fans. Ever. It's like we're allergic to it.
Just when the Bills get good, the rest of the division gets good too. You know what I'm saying?
Gets better. Not even good. Like Miami's a juggernaut now. When did that happen? Please explain it to me. Please, because I'm trying to figure that out. When they traded for
Tyreek Hill. That's when
the Jets are a force to be reckoned with.
The Jets are good. God, even the Patriots are.
The Patriots are in last place, but they're still good.
They're 5-4.
Yeah.
Last place, and they're a game above.
They're still over 500. Yeah, right.
And they're only a game out of third.
Oh.
I guess Tyreek Hill was right. Tua is the most talented quarterback in the division.
Because Tua
No,
is
most accurate.
quick.
He said most accurate.
Most
when
accurate.
he doesn't need a lot of time to get the ball out.
No.
So he's got Tyreek
And accuracy
now.
helps too. When you can sling the ball quickly and be pinpoint with it.
Miles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney had no chance of getting to him today because he releases the ball so quick. They had no chance whatsoever.
He almost, he almost does it all in one motion.
I hate football.
He was not sacked at all today. Did not get sacked.
Of course not.
No. And their defense, they just got
they
better.
ran up 195 yards on the ground against the Browns today. Between Jeff Wilson alone had 119 yards. Okay. Mostert had 65. Tua threw for 285. He threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. I mean,
and to think, Jalen Walden didn't even have a good game.
he was actually their leading receiver today, believe it or not, for 4 receptions and 66 yards. Yes.
Yeah.
Their touchdowns, Tyreek Hill had 1. The other 2 touchdown receptions came from Trent Sherfield and Alec Ingold. Who the fuck are these guys?
Language,
Alec Ingold's a fullback.
Excuse me, John.
And Trent Sherfield is like their Isaiah McKenzie.
Fire that guy to the moon too.
Good point, Mike. He releases the ball like he's playing arena football. That's a good analogy right there. I agree.
Like it's a hot potato. He drops it like it's hot.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, it's just so quick, man. Like you don't have time to like sack him. It's and that's got to be O-line because like I remember last year, the Bills were having their way with Tua, like flinging him around like a rag doll. So
they've got a better offensive line now too. So he's getting for time to throw the ball too.
He's got jackrabbit receivers too. Guys that can get open because these guys are hard to guard, man. Waddle and Hill, they're not easy. And when you got a guy with accuracy.
Should I get?
He had 302 yards passing, but what killed the Browns was the running game. 195 yards allowed on the ground. And I made the comment in the beginning of the show, John, that the defensive tackles on this team are the weakest spot for the Browns. It just in between the tackles are just terrible. Yeah, the edge rushers, you got Clowney and you got Garrett, but the tackles, their talent in the tackles area is just terrible, and they're the worst run stopping team in the NFL, and that's what burned them today. I mean, even though 2 or 300 yards, it doesn't matter. It's just their run stop is just not there. Just not there. Ooh, the Chargers with an early touchdown against the Niners.
Yeah. That's why I said this didn't start well.
Well, I mean, John, it's a long season. We got 8 games to go. It's early. It's technically early. You'll be fine.
It's
the next stretch of games with the Bills are going to be easy for them. So we'll see.
It's week 10.
I know. And it was snowing in Buffalo today.
Yeah, that doesn't, dude, it's Buffalo. It's not like, that's not a shock that it was snowing. Like,
yeah. Oh, it was snowing in Arkansas yesterday, for God's sake. It was snowing in Arkansas for LSU and Arkansas yesterday.
No one cares. Dude, that's another thing, man. I'm so sick of college ball. Can college ball get fired to the moon? Like, this is just like, it's modern day slavery, man. And everyone's so like, everyone on Facebook is like, oh, my team. They didn't even go to the school, but all of a sudden their team.
Well, it's like me for Ohio State. I didn't go to Ohio State, but I like the Buckeyes.
Why?
But
you know that these kids are getting basically raped, and
John,
you're okay
you
with it.
used to be a Gators fan.
No, because of the logo. It had nothing to do. It was the logo. I thought it was great. I was 10 years old. Dude, I will never understand the obsession with college ball. I will never. Everyone watches that know how those kids are being taken advantage of, but everyone signs up on Saturdays when they shouldn't even be doing anything, and they're all rah, 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 rah. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's for another rant.
It's football.
I'm fired up, man. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad.
You should have been here on time, John. It would have been a better hour. Come on.
I couldn't. I was with my kid.
That's all.
I was with my
anyway,
kid.
we're gonna close. It's 8:30. We're gonna close it up for the week. John, thank you for making it in. Be positive.
And if you're out there, sorry about your Cowboys.
Yep. And positive thoughts, because you get the Browns next week, and you should.
Dude, you'll win. Knowing the only thing is that you guys are just as miserable as we are. So
yes, we are. Yes, we are.
If you
more games, we got 2 more games with Brissett, and then Deshaun Watson comes back. So he gets to start in practice. Watson gets to start practicing with the Browns tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, on behalf of my co-host, Mr. Elliot Biggie Lamba, and Mr. Negative, Mr. John G. Olson, I am the sports nerd, Mr. Scott Wright. You all have a great week. We'll be back again next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully, John will be in a better mood. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you. Elliot, play the outro.
Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we are still alive and televised. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright, and his co-host, John Olson, Ken Coslow, lovable members in the Ramp Pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we would like to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing, and for heaven's sake, please wear a damn mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Ramp Pack, and with that, fellas, we are out.